Good morning, YouTube. So last night I was at MetLife Stadium for Monster Energy Supercross round 14, and it was my brother's birthday. Mark, happy birthday! Thank you for the experience. We went with a whole slew of people, and he paid for 450 after the race event thing through Feld. At least Feld had their staff there to, I guess what you would say, take care of us. To be honest with you, it was a great experience to be there with my family and loved ones. But my disappointment laid into when you're down at the bottom of the track at the gate. They have you off to the side, standing on planks of wood. And it was a mutter last night. Excuse me. You can't really see anything. Forget the downpour and the mud and all that stuff. It's just part of the experience. You can't really see any riders. The gate's got a lot going on. It's blocked by camera guys, officials, staff, so on and so forth. I mean, you're struggling just to see what's going on. You're there. You're excited. You know, you want to be there. You could see more of the stadium and people than you could see the reason why you're there and why you paid so much money for those VIP passes. And so you're standing off to the side. You can't really see anything. The race is going on. You can basically see one section in front of the gates, which sucked. And then after that's all over and the race is up, and then, whoever wins the race, Eli and Barsha and Ken Roxon put on a great show. I mean, it was a super swamper mutter. And then the lady says, "Hey, just follow me, stay close. We're gonna go up here and we're gonna experience some things." I mean, your biggest experience was you're right in front of the grandstand where they're giving out the awards and talking with the commentators. I mean, and we're about probably 10, 15 feet from the riders. And they don't even care that you're there. Like, there's no other fans down in that spot because they didn't pay for that experience. But you're right there in front of the stars, right? The stars should acknowledge that you've paid all this money to be in that position so that you could maybe have a small meet and greet. What would it cost Eli, Barsha, or Ken Roxon to give us 30 seconds of their time for a picture and a hello? Nothing. So the experience of being there with your friends and family and excitement and being at the race was phenomenal, but paying the extra money to be ignored is basically how I felt about that experience. I mean, these riders, and that goes for all riders, need to know the fans are what makes the sport, and that's where they're missing. It isn't their sponsors. It isn't their friends and family necessarily. The sport is driven by fans attendance, fans social media. I don't know if the fans still write letters to their people, but the fans drive the money that funds their success. Pull the fans completely out of it, there would be no Supercross. And I watched Kenny say, when he's at certain events, he sees the little kids. Don't have tunnel vision there, guys. When people are paying extra money to have that special experience, you should take 2 seconds out of your time. And it was only 12 or 15 people. So how long would it take for each rider to come down after they're done with the press and, their team and celebration and walk over and say, "Hey, give me 5 seconds to say hello to these fans," because they paid 10 times what it costs for regular admission to be in this spot, just to say hello and maybe get a picture. I felt that they had a lot going on, but they need to carve out the time for the people who are there for them and actually stepped up for that extra experience. So Feld, Monster Energy, I'm calling all you guys out. You need to do a better job. And that's just how I feel. And if you probably interviewed everybody who's done this experience, they'll probably say the same thing. Like, they're probably never going to spend that money again. And I think it was $300 per ticket to have that extra experience, and your top level guys who are on the podium really didn't take 2 seconds out of their time to acknowledge each and every one of those little people in that crowd and say, hey, thank you for coming here. Thanks for doing that. Can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? Something. So forget about, in the pits and all that stuff. And it's a timed session where they sign autographs and all that stuff. That's a circus. And that's general admission. I think you could do that. I'm pretty positive. But then when you spend that extra money to have an even better experience, not even a T-shirt, Feld and Monster Energy. I just don't get it. Like, I don't think I would ever spend that money again. And I'll tell you this: I probably wouldn't advise anyone to spend that money. And after they watch my video, maybe they'll understand. You couldn't see once you were down at the gate. Visibility was poor. You couldn't see the track. I mean, they should have a special area that has you elevated, that singles you guys out, because you are the premium customer. And I assure you, they're all guys like me who follow the sport constantly. And maybe they don't. Maybe it was just a night out. I'll tell you what, I watch Supercross and motocross and European and MotoGP and all that stuff. The biggest part of it was being there with your friends and family for me. But would have been the icing on the cake is if Monster Energy and Feld and whoever else puts on that event there to instruct those riders to make sure that they acknowledge those fans who are spending that extra money. And even the fans who are sitting in the stands, you're getting a thank you. Typically, I mean, they're waving to you, right? But your general admission, and that's a great thing too. We had general admission seats, but then we paid for an extra experience. That was, in my opinion, not worth it. But let's see if Monster Energy or Feld gets a hold of this and reevaluates that experience at those costs. It was super expensive. You couldn't see. You didn't feel special, that's for sure, because your top level guys who, were on the podium didn't take the time out to do anything. Actually, one person basically begged Eli Tomac for a picture, and I got one of them, and then I believe he kept trying to get Eli to get a picture with his wife, but you could tell that Eli, he wasn't interested in the immediate fans right there, that's for sure. Thanks for watching.